Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Anchored Ministries Live. We're so happy you tuned in tonight. And tonight we have a pretty special, fun night planned out, Stefan, right?
Yeah, I'm excited.
What's going on?
We're going to be playing a really fun game and talking about some fun stuff.
Okay. Fun.
Fun.
So your daddy takes your T-Bird away. Okay. That was an old reference. Moving on. Yeah, guys, we have a few things for tonight. We're going to talk about some bleeping words and what the bleep they mean.
I don't know what the bleep you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you're gonna bleep and know. So we're gonna be talking about that a little bit later on. We also have a special guest with us tonight. Two special guests. One of them is an adorable baby, and the other one is Nora. So everybody give it up for Alicia, who's here with us tonight. We have a special game we're playing tonight that's gonna be fun. As always, it all comes down to being and looking gross, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So on that note, we're going to call up Maddie, and Maddie's going to bring out our items. Stefan, what are we doing tonight?
All right, so we are playing a game where Maddie's going to bring up some Twinkies. You guys saw us eat Twinkies the first week. You guys loved it, so we brought them back. But two of these Twinkies have something gross in them.
We're not supposed to pick it up.
Oh, I'm not supposed to pick it up. Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Maddie, can you tell us what's in the first one?
So the first one is guacamole.
Guacamole.
Blue cheese dressing. And jalapeno cheese dip.
Okay, so all three of these have bad things in them?
Two things have the bad thing in it.
Wait, I'm allergic to
Oh,
avocados.
all three. Are you're allergic to what?
Yeah, I'm allergic to avocados. You guys are going to play this one without me.
Okay. Are you really?
He's allergic.
Oh my gosh.
It makes my throat itchy.
One's good.
Two are bad and one is good. All right, guess it's just me and Alicia now.
Shouldn't you take one of the bad ones away?
No.
It's only two of us.
Okay.
50-50
Yeah.
shot?
You know which one is which?
Was that one heavy, the one you picked up?
I didn't pick any. I picked it up. But I didn't take
How
it.
about you guys just leave it to chance?
What if it's all bad? Okay, whatever.
rude.
All right, I'm gonna distribute
It's
them.
going to be bad because they're Twinkies.
I'm gonna distribute them. So you're going to get this one,
See, because you picked it up.
and I'm
you
going
know.
to get. Okay, fine. I'll switch.
No,
them.
don't switch me because you
Okay.
picked that one up just now too, you cheater.
Okay, here we go.
I'm
We're
picking all of them up the next time.
First off, are we looking good on the stream? Everything's okay.
Wait,
Okay.
he gets to just distribute and that's it? I don't get to
And
move
then
them
next
back?
next round you get to distribute.
Oh, I thought I got to
No, there's
switch
3
it.
rounds. Next round you get
I
to
know,
figure out
you
who
just gave me something
You got
so
no idea.
gross.
You have no idea. Okay, real quick before we get started, guys. Hey, share this on your feed, wherever it's at, on Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook,
For us
I
older people.
forgot to go buy one.
on Instagram. That's okay. For
You
those,
want Maddie to do
yeah,
it?
yeah. Let's we'll work it out after this. Don't worry, we can do it after.
Maybe.
Ready? We'll just do it together. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. I got a regular Twinkie.
Rude. I didn't. It's red. What is
That's
that?
the first time I ever didn't get
What
it.
is that?
Oh,
It tasted
Jalapeno
sweet.
cheese dip.
is it
It
good?
didn't taste bad.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
there
it's
you
a Twinkie. It's gross. But
Todd takes round 1. Bing! 1 point for me.
Hey, I win too because I didn't have to eat it.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I think he should lose.
I think I just have to eat that one.
Yeah.
No.
That one's not avocado-y. I know that because I just bit into it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Do
guess.
it. Do
It's only
it.
fair. I think you should taste that.
No way.
I'm going to open it.
How's that?
It doesn't go together, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Let's go to the next round.
Ew.
I'm already kind of full from that one Twinkie. I should have just taken a
Are you
bite.
full?
Alicia
Did
is.
you eat the whole thing?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
why-
that was hard though because they were really light.
Yeah. Okay, Alicia is up. She gets to decide what goes where.
So this one has Vienna sausage in it.
I'm sorry, did you say Vienna sausage? Okay, cool.
Why does he have water? We don't have water.
Maraschino cherry.
I don't know what I want to do here.
You sure you want to go that direction?
I don't know what I'm
It
doing.
looks like this one's been touched a lot.
Stop!
Yeah, I think you want. No,
No.
you don't want that one.
You sure? Look
No,
at it.
I don't
It looks
think
like
you
she
want that
touched that one on the
I
end
don't
of it
care.
a lot. Okay.
These ones have grease on the bottom of the plate and this one doesn't.
Oh, she's using?
I'll tell you, some of the plates were white.
Oh.
Or white.
For
wiped
prints. So Maddie couldn't be traced back to the crime.
Paper towel and I cleaned
She wiped them up on some of them in case they were too much.
I don't care.
All right,
She put
she's
something
committed
bad
to
on
it.
them before.
Here we go. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Twinkie!
Oh, mine's not good.
Oh, no. Oh,
You gotta get it down, Todd.
Uh-huh.
Ew, right there. That's gross.
I keep trying to
Just
chew
clear
it.
your throat with my other Twinkie.
Oh my gosh.
Use
man.
the other Twinkie, Todd.
It's so gross.
Use the backside.
No, Corona, man.
The backside.
No. Oh, it tastes so bad.
Okay, drink your water. I'm nice to this one.
Can we get some water, babe?
Ew, stop spitting.
Dude, that was so
I'm
bad.
going for the other Twinkie. I'm married to her.
I
it's
can
okay.
still taste it. Oh my gosh.
Whose idea was this?
What was all in that again? Vienna sausage?
Vienna sausage. That's all I needed to hear was Vienna sausage.
Can I scoot up, or are you gonna?
Oh, you're good for now.
Oh, I'm good now that I got that.
Cherry juice, cheese whiz,
That's the good one.
I think it was the sweet relish and the Vienna sausage.
Oh, it was honestly the Vienna sausage. Oh, what's in this one?
It's gonna be fish.
Okay, just say it and we'll put it into the mic. No, let's not. Let's just eat it and then she'll tell
Yeah,
us
don't
afterwards.
tell me first.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
better.
don't tell us.
It's just gonna be
I'm
gross.
scared after watching them, and I
No
can't
big deal.
hurl. I've got a baby, so
You can't hurl?
no, because I'd throw up on her. So
Oh, gotta get creative. You're up, Stefan.
throw up on you instead.
Yeah.
Wife, you can have this one.
Oh no, you did that on purpose.
Todd, you could have. Just kidding. Oh wait, do I want that one?
Do you?
No.
Do ya? Do ya?
Wait, I can't slide it with all this.
You gotta
stuff.
slide it. Yeah, you can't pick it up.
I'm gonna give you this one,
Cheating.
Todd. Here.
Oh no, mine's greasy. It's gonna be a bad one.
Okay. Just give me a second to.
Yours is gonna be good, I bet.
I'm hoping.
It's not greasy. Your plate's not greasy.
I didn't even look at that.
I
She
found
said there's a lot in these, which terrifies me.
And I saw a picture of everything she put in these, and I know what she hasn't listed yet.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Rude.
Stefan counted
Oh,
down.
you know what's funny?
What?
My wife's got a baby on her. She can't spit anything
I
out.
just
Oh,
said
we're
that.
talking about that. Okay.
I
Count it
wasn't
down.
listening. 3, 2,
Oh, I think
1.
Alicia's is okay. Mine. Oh, my God.
Oh, mine's good.
Mine's good.
Oh wait.
Yours is definitely not good. I can see the bottom.
Oh no, I didn't take a big enough
You
bite.
gotta bite it. Bite it. You
Ew,
gotta do
I
it.
don't think I want to.
You just know about what you want.
Nah, it's not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
We must have super taste buds, Todd.
Okay, I'm just gonna get it down.
Are you ready?
Can you get it down?
Well, the aftertaste was
All right,
good.
Stefan, repeat what you said.
What's in it?
Cheese whiz,
Cheese whiz, Taki,
sardine and mustard sauce.
sardine, and mustard sauce, liquid stuff.
The liquid out of the can of the sardine.
Oh, the liquid from the sardines and mustard sauce. Okay, that sounds great.
Got that.
Put in 2 maraschino cherries.
2 maraschino cherries. Okay.
Mayonnaise,
Mayonnaise, blue cheese, blue cheese dressing, and hot sauce. Okay.
That's disgusting.
Well,
all of that.
mine was great.
Well, we
So-
all got a point. Ironically enough, on the ones where we dispersed, we got the good ones.
I got so excited, I just didn't take a big enough bite.
That was pretty grody.
I was too scared.
Okay, everybody, give it up for Alicia for joining us tonight. Thank you, Alicia and Nora.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Adios.
Can I get a stagehand to get this trash
Wait.
bag off the?
There's more
here,
sugar.
Put that in there.
Oh man,
What's up, dude?
what's up?
Are you ready for tonight?
I'm always ready.
Are we good? Are we in frame? Am I
think-
where I am
think we're
supposed to be?
good. I think we're. Oh,
Oh wow!
wow,
Oh,
that's,
there we go.
All right, we're good.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anchored Live. We're so happy that you guys could join us tonight. We're going to get our Instagram Live going now that we're getting to the talking portion of it. So those of you who are waiting for that, you guys can tune in just a second. So tonight, Stefan and I are talking about curse words,
Yeah,
bleeping curse words.
those bleeping words.
Yes. So we wanted to talk about this a lot because we have a lot of students come up and they're like, why is this bad? Or, why is it I'm not allowed to cuss? Or aren't they just words? I mean, this is a lot of stuff that we hear in ministry, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So hearing that from students, it's always one of those things where I know you guys think it's important. And that's why I wanted to talk about it tonight. So Stefan and I have both done a little bit of research. We haven't really gone over what we got. We're just going to kind of shoot from the hip. But before
luck.
but before we get started, Stefan, why don't you pray? Make sure we don't say anything real dumb.
You got it.
Okay.
God, we come to you right now. We just want to thank you for just allowing us to still be able to get together to make these videos and to get it live on there. So, God, we're just wanting to pray for your presence tonight. Allow us not to say anything that that wouldn't be from you, God. Allow your presence just to be over this. In your name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. So again, hi everybody. Let's get this thing started. Stefan, cursing, bad words,
Yeah.
no words,
No words. Bad words.
yeah,
Dirty words.
dirty word. Well, yes, dirty words,
dirty words.
dirty words. All these things. So like when you hear that. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to say this real quick before we get started. If you guys want to shout out, put it on the comments, and my wife will flag it to me on my phone. We'll give you guys a shout out. Hopefully, they will be quick, and we'll have some good ones, and it won't interrupt the talk too much. But we're gonna have fun with it. So, Stefan, I mean, curse words, man. You're a Christian, right?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You're a follower of Christ.
Yeah, of course.
Well, then, what the bleep do you think about curse words?
You know what, man? It's a hard topic to hit sometimes. For me, I always think about in the Bible when it talks about sin, and it says, like, sin is sin.
Yeah.
That when you look at curse words, that when you curse, it's just like as if you would have murdered somebody. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says if you commit one sin, you've committed all sins.
Yeah.
So does that mean that if I curse that I did kill someone, Todd? Does that mean
No, I don't think it means that at all.
Can I just go out and kill
I was
someone?
going to interject there and
Yeah.
be like, hold on, before anybody's like, I'm going to go murder somebody tonight because it's on the same.
Because I lie anyways.
I think it's one of those things where, yeah, like,
If I kill Todd, if I shoot him right now, and
it'd be a huge tragedy for
right,
the world.
and it'd be live on YouTube.
And it would be live.
But if I shoot Todd and I spit on Todd, the way that it affects the lives around Todd is going to be completely different.
Those two different ways you mean.
Two different ways it's going to be
Yeah,
affected.
you spitting on me versus you shooting me.
Correct. When I spit on you, it affects you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to be angry. You're going to wonder why I spit on you.
Yeah.
But if I shot you, now it's affecting the circles around you.
Yeah.
It's going to affect the people around you. And I think that a lot of times that's how we should look at the, cursing.
Yeah.
Who is it affecting? Who is it, you know what I mean?
How
are
does
you
that
using it?
ripple effect go throughout that person's life and your life?
Yeah.
When people see you and the attitude that you have and the way you present yourself, especially when we claim to be a follower of Christ, like that's what we believe we are. We're these little, these little mini Christians, or these mini Jesus Christs walking around on this earth. I think it's super important for us to realize, like, the way that we present ourselves to other people is going to turn them off to the gospel or onto the gospel. Yep. And I think something that I was thinking about this morning was, we are always called to be like peculiar people or different people or set apart.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words that we hear in the Bible, phrases we hear in the Bible. And if all we do is just blend into the background, if we just look like everybody else on this planet, like there's nothing different about us. And I think the very first thing you notice about somebody, language.
Yeah.
How they speak, what they speak about. And I think it's really important that for an Americas, shout out. That was pretty.
Wow, we didn't plan that. Right? No, I don't.
Okay. So, I think that's a huge point, is knowing, like, how do you present yourself to the rest of the world? What is the world seeing when they see you and the way that you react?
Well, and you're putting a label on yourself when you put out, I am a Christian.
Yeah.
And so with that label comes the responsibilities,
Yeah.
If I went out there and said I'm a baseball player, you'd expect me to play baseball.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's the same kind of thing. When I say I'm a Christian, now you're going to watch me to see if I'm doing those things that the Bible lays out and I should be doing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Do we want gum? Yes. Give us some gum.
I need to chew gum on camera.
We're going to take a brief intermission for gum. How's the stream going? I'm looking at my phone right now. And, we have another shout out while we're chewing on some gum. It is from the Lowry family, Huntsman family, Lowry family, Tayden and McKenna. What's that? Moving on. So, it's so much better. This gum is just like pressure washing my tongue of all the dirty grossness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it wouldn't be, an actual conversation if we didn't talk about, like, when we. I think about the first time I cussed. I have it vividly imprinted in my mind.
Okay, so I don't remember the first time, but I can tell you the first time I accidentally cursed.
Like, we were all jazzed up about something. I don't know what. I think we were playing like tag or something like that. And me and all my friends were in a little group, and they were like, and it's so weird thinking about like third grade me, and they're like, yeah, let's go play tag, and everybody's like, yeah, and everybody's like, I had so much power in that moment.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, I've affected the world. Yes, I've started, like,
it's me.
It was like I just felt this surge of power, and I don't know if that's good or bad that I felt that way, but I felt that way.
Okay.
And then it was just a waterfall after
Yes.
that. It wouldn't stop.
So I remember the first time I cursed.
Okay.
As we were sitting here.
I talked about the power flowing through you, and
Okay.
your body was like, I remember that
No.
moment.
Okay, so mine was the opposite effect.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I was 8 years old, and I had just switched schools, and there was this.
Wait, what age are third graders? Is that eight? Eight? Same time, dude.
Right?
That's weird.
So
Watch out for your 8-year-olds.
So I was at a new school, and I'd only been there for a few weeks, and there was this girl named Mercedes. All right, and
super classy.
Right. So we were up on top of the slide, and she pushed me down the slide, and I panicked the whole way down because I'm rolling. I don't know if I'm going over the side.
Yeah.
So I hit the bottom.
You're gonna fall all 8 feet and
all 8
possibly
feet.
die.
But I'm 8 years old.
Yeah.
That's like 20 stories for me.
Yeah, that's true.
So I get to the bottom, and I'm angry and I'm crying because I was panicking.
Yep.
And I turn around and I'm like, bleep you, Mercedes. And there was a teacher behind the slide, and I didn't know. So immediately
behind the slide. I imagine them crouched underneath it going like, I'm going to get Stephon today.
Apparently they were.
This is the day he slips up.
She said she was trying to catch people running up the slide, but instead she caught me cursing.
And it's hard to miss when you shout, bleep you, Mercedes.
Yeah. So that was my first time cursing.
Okay, I actually have one more funny story about cursing. And it's not even about cursing. Actually, it's about a great point about cursing, about language. I remember growing up, we could not say a lot of words. Like, I'm going to say them on YouTube. But, fart, shut up. These were all bad words when we were in my household. I remember my brother one time was out front, and these girls would come by and started making fun of him. I might have told you this story before.
Yeah,
And these girls came by and they started making fun of him because he had huge glasses and he looked like a dweeb anyways. So he was just kind of an easy target. So they were walking by and they were just like, hey, Four Eyes, hey, Four Eyes. And Tim was outside like doing yard work or something. I remember like sitting at the front window and just being like, oh man, like, you know, I can't believe he's taking this. What's he gonna say back to them? What's he gonna do? And he turns around and he just shouts, he's like, shut up, butt face, like really loud. And like to me, it was like he just like cursed them out.
Yes.
I was just like, ah, but, you know, oh man, he's dead meat. And my brother forgot my dad was home that day. So from the backyard, my dad screams like, Timmy, what was that? He went off on him. And it was so weird to think that going from but is this just taboo, never talk about, never touch it word, especially when you're throwing it at somebody, to where the world is at today.
Yep.
It's vastly different. And
Okay,
I think it speaks about culture, too.
I do have to ask, is this the story where your brother like disappeared down the road?
No, that was a different story.
Different story, okay.
Yeah, my brother played hide and seek for like 24 hours in my neighbor's chimney. So that's another story for another day. But I think it's important to note, like, as culture changes to what is acceptable language around certain people changes.
It's gonna change with society. Some words are gonna be accepted more than others.
Yeah.
But I think at the same time, it comes back to looking at your word. Your word's gonna talk to you about dirty words and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Your Bible talks about unwholesome speech a lot.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, me and Stephon both have some stuff today
Yeah.
that we wanted to bring up. I'm out of Ephesians 4:29. If you guys have your Bibles, make sure you turn there. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. I'm reading out of the New Living Translation. It says this. It says, don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. What do you got?
I got Colossians 3:8.
Okay.
Which is, but now you must also rid yourselves of all such things as these: anger.
There's nobody you know that's like a super calm, like, you know, really like easy demeanor. Like, I'm never angry. I have no malice. And they're
I
just
am
like,
great.
and they stub their toe and they're just like, bleep, like really loud. I feel like they kind of go. But I thought it was really an interesting choice of words that around certain people, words are rotten, and around other people, those words are not rotten.
Yeah.
But I think it more so comes down to, is that word worthless or
Yeah.
not? We talked about the people that, you know, when they can't think of a word, they're just like, bleeping, bleep, you know, like when they actually can't think of a word there, they just use these worthless words to kind of fill in there. And I would say 80 to 90% of vernacular that is considered a curse word is really a worthless word. There is another word to be expressed there for what it is.
Well, and there's something that I think when it comes to using curse words in your normal language, I mean, I feel like sometimes you could plug a word in there that makes you seem a little bit more
Intelligent,
right?
Yeah. Which is not that hard.
When I always think back to like rap music, because I listen to a lot of Christian rap music, and I have coworkers who are secular, and we'll talk about music, and I'll say, well,
They are secular.
yeah,
They're
like,
of the
like
world.
as in they're of the world, yes. Sorry, that's a Christian word.
Those darn secular people. We had one on our show last week. Stephon didn't vet them out. They didn't go to church all the time.
Right?
So. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I know I'll talk to them sometimes, and they'll say, well, what's wrong with modern day rap? And I'll say, well, take out all the curse words, and what do you have?
Yeah, like the lyric in and of itself is a long lyric. Take out the words that are worthless.
Yeah.
Meaning there's it's just a filler word.
Yep.
And you've got 3 words that don't mean anything.
That mean nothing. And in most of the song is those filler words.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the way that we use our words is not just indicative about like our walk with Christ, but it's also a good measure of our intelligence as a human being. I'm going to say that. Like to the kids that I know this because we have kids at our youth group that do have a tough time, you know, with their language and stuff like that. I tell them, I'm like, you don't sound smart when you talk like that. Like, nobody thinks you do. And I think that sometimes we see these influencers or these YouTubers, and they use a lot of this language, and because and a lot of our students are like, oh yeah, I want to be like that person. And I think it's so sad to be like, well, you can be like that person, but are they defined by those curse words? Is that where their entire personality stops? And if so, like, how sad is that?
Yeah, that'd be really sad.
That'd be super sad if all you were defined by is that. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
That the Bible talks about it on two different levels, and on top of that, like, what is it? I was trying to think about this the other day. In this generation, because we talked about, like, the culture's changing, so people would say, like, oh, well, me saying the F word now is totally different than me saying it, 10 years ago. Yeah. They say, I remember a student looked at me and he said, it's just words. Like, why is it so important if it's just words? And I remember we were sitting up at a winter camp when this happened.
Yeah.
And I looked at that student and I said, student, because I'm not going to name them. I said, student, Dylan Booth.
He said his name.
I said,
I was there.
If I just yelled the F word really loudly right now in this hall full of people, what would people do? He's just like, well, I don't know. They'd probably be like kind of shocked. I'm like, why would they be if it's just a word? And it's because clearly words are not just things that we throw around.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the Bible says words have the power of life and death.
Yes.
So to underplay the power of words, so that way you can just say more curse words that you want to, I think is just a really bad way of kind of underplaying really how important they are.
No, and it's like you said, the Bible talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
It says that the tongue is a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
Like, you can kill somebody with it.
Yeah, you could kill somebody with your words.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to bring up an area too. What about, like, gray area words? Like, what about, like, what the frick?
Yeah. Well, I think you're just playing with fire.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean? You're tiptoeing around the word. Man, it's hard to
They
get
are
out.
funny though sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's have a moment of honesty. Yes, it is super funny to hear some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it for what it is. But at the same time, like, just because we get a good laugh out of it, it does not justify the means to the end of it.
Well, and you know what? It's like we said in the beginning. You're portraying, if you're a Christian or not, you're portraying who you are. And so I've had people where I'll say, like, what the frick or whatever.
Yeah.
And people will look at me and go, well, why don't you just say the word? You're one letter away.
Yeah. And I think it is dangerous territory. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that is playing with fire when we as Christians are like, I want to be talking like the world.
Yeah.
But I really can't. So let me change 2 letters and now I'm good.
And I'm good, yeah.
And I don't think that really flies. And I've been guilty of it. I'm going to be 100%
No, me too.
transparent. So I'm absolutely guilty of doing that kind of stuff. And I think that it's important to identify, call a spade for a spade on it and say, yeah, like those gray areas, that's hard, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially, dang it, that's
Right?
It's kind of there too.
I feel like it's like you're a smoker and you're putting on a nicotine patch. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you're a smoker and you're walking by somebody smoking, going,
Yeah. Like you're trying to quit and you're
"I'm not smoking. I'm just inhaling all of his breath."
just breathe your smoke this way.
just breathe in my face. Yeah, that's gonna make you feel good. I think it's important to identify that, but at the same time too, like this sounds dumb. I feel like you can have fun with words that clearly aren't curse words. You know, if you're just like, "Oh, shucks," like super loud, that might be a good way to kind of to scratch that itch, because I think it's, you have to exclaim things sometimes. Like if I stub my toe, guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I'm not just like, "Woo, praise the Lord," and then move on throughout my day.
Oh, that's my toe.
Yeah. Ow, my toe. That kind of hurt. Like, we want to exclaim, and there are studies that talk about how shouting and saying certain things help you release the tension and the emotions and stuff like that. But I think that somebody taking that study and going, well, yeah, look, here's this study where if you stub your toe and you shout this word, then it's good. So I'm going to use it all the time. You're kind of taking apples for oranges on that one. And one more argument I wanted to talk about, which is there's this really popular one on the interweb. On the internet, on podcasts.
Okay. That
talks about how in Philippians 3:8, it talks about how Paul says everything else in knowing Christ is garbage. And the word that he actually used there is called skubala, which is a Greek word that this is kind of the pertaining argument on the internet. People are like, that word means human poop.
Okay.
But the bad word.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, it means that. Like that, historians and scholars alike have figured it out. And I thought that was really interesting because first off, I hate sentences like, have you ever had people say, well, you know, scholars say, or scientists say.
You know,
I hate that.
That one guy said.
You know why, right?
Well, because they're trying
Who's
to
the
prove it.
scientist? Yeah. Who, like when people go, what scholars say? I'm like, okay, well, who's the
Which
scholar?
one?
Yeah. Well, science. Okay, well, what
Which
study?
one?
Yeah, like, and when you do that, when people go, well, I don't know, but somewhere it does,
Yeah.
it means that they have zero argument and it's not good. So be prepared to use that in the future. But people say that a lot about this when they go, well, you know, scholars say it was a really bad word that Paul was using, and you know, now if Paul uses it, then we should be able to. I did a little bit of research on it. There's a guy named Gary Manning who works at Biola University. It's kind of a theologian school that they started a while back, and he talks about how in every one of like these texts that he's read that are in Greek, that word is constantly not used as like, you know, that word.
Yeah.
It's not like the sh word. It's, you know, oftentimes just describing poop. They're just like, yeah, you know, like he talked about how in multiple pieces they talk about how scientists back in the day, which a scientist back in Greek times was a loose term for what you were doing.
There was not very much science involved.
No, there wasn't. They're like, we're going to go, you know what, you're bleeding internally, so we're going to open a hole so the blood comes out. Like that was being a scientist or a doctor back in the day. But they would say that in these studies, they would talk about human excrement, poop, or, you know, stuff like that. And they would use this word. And this guy's constantly like, you know, you let the world tell you, scholars say this, and when you just roll with it, it's almost like you're looking for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you can find anything to justify anything
Absolutely.
on the internet.
Yeah. And you can even pick apart the Bible,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, you can pull stuff from the Bible and pull a single verse and be like, hey, look, this says that I can...
Slavery's cool.
Right? Slavery's okay.
The Bible says slavery's cool.
They
Look.
had slaves back then.
Yeah, they did. So you're going to be like, look, you know, the Bible says it's okay to do this. Or you can tear out one piece of it and says the Bible says that women shouldn't speak in church ever. And
Amen.
it's like, well,
We're going to get in trouble.
yeah, definitely. If it's not for the bleeping, it's for that comment. I think it's super important to be like, you know what? Yeah, you can pick apart the Bible and get it to say what you want it to say, but you have to take every verse in its context, and you have to take it for its entirety. And I think you have to do the same thing with your language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Last thing, Stefan. I'm going to ask you a question, then we'll end this. Do we have any new shout-outs? Did we miss any so far? Are we good? Sweet. All of you guys are watching. Thanks so much for watching. Hang in there. We're gonna keep going. I wanted to ask Stefan on live
Don't ask me.
TV, on live YouTube. Stefan,
Yes.
what is it ever okay to cuss?
No.
Never. Never ever.
No, I mean-
never ever.
I remember in high school, we had an English class. English? Yeah, it was an English class. And we had to make these videos for the class.
Yeah.
And the teacher
And you just
said,
cussed in the video.
No, not me.
okay. All right.
We had this teacher, and he said, here's the rules, this, and no cursing. And the kids were like, I can't curse in my videos? And I said, well, no. He said, well, what if I'm using it in its proper context? And he said, okay, well, if you use it in its proper context, yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
So they decided they were going to use the B word,
Okay.
referring to a female dog.
Yes.
They did it like 10 times in the video.
Yes, of course.
Because they want to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
I think that when it comes to curse words, it really comes down to context.
Yeah.
I get that they were overly doing it, but it comes down to context and it comes down to your heart.
Yeah.
You know, where's your heart at?
Where
you're doing
is
this?
your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think Jesus, every time he talked about sin in the world, every time he talked about anything, he was always worried about man's heart.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people could be like, well, my heart isn't in it when I'm cussing. I'm just saying it because it's out of habit. Well, it's not that. It's why is your heart doing it? Why is it that you feel like you have to? Why is it that you feel like you have to use certain language? Is it because you can't deal with the fact that you don't because somebody's telling you that you can't? I think that's like a knee-jerk. I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm gonna call it out for everybody watching this right now. Who's going? Well, you know what? I'm a Christian and I'm flawed. So I'm gonna have my problems and listen. We get that. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I don't think either one of us are advocating for that here.
Oh, I'm perfect.
Okay, except Stefan. He's perfect. To the rest of us out there, I'm going to say, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm not saying, well, you have to be perfect and never cuss from here on out. But I'm saying, like, we strive to be better people and to be more Christ-like.
Yeah.
I will say this about Christ, too. Christ called people a brood of vipers, and he called them foxes.
Yeah.
Not like fox, not like foxy, like foxy fox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like that's a fox over there. He called them fox, which like back in the day was
Why
like a
did
dog.
you pointed at your wife when you said that? I saw
She
you.
is foxy. That'll also get me in trouble. Hitting on my wife on live stream. Anyways, shout out to my wife who's carrying our baby. Okay, moving on. Jesus called people some pretty mean things back in the day. But I think it's because he knew that the words for their harshness had to be used in that situation for what it was.
Well, I think his heart was in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus was at a point where he could say, hey, you brood of vipers.
Yeah.
And know that he truly meant it when he said it to them. He meant to say, you understand that you guys are a brood of vipers. He wanted them to have
to actually go through that.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that, and that sometimes, rarely, we're called to be that way for other people.
Yeah.
Does that include curse language? I don't think 80 to 90% of the time it does.
Yeah.
I remember I heard a story one time. Actually, no, I wasn't at. I heard a story about somebody who went up to a men's retreat, and the guy who was up there was just like, hey, man, it's time for you guys to be bleeping men, man. It's time for you to be, bleeping men, step up. And I think, like, when you're using that context, when using it in that context, you're not using it to edify people. You're not using it to cut it down to the root. You're really just using it as a shock factor.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at somebody and when you have to lay it out straight with them and cut past the baloney and you have to get past the lies, and that's what Jesus did in that moment. He said, listen, you guys are a brood of vipers. You guys are dogs.
Yep.
And those people needed to hear it at that moment, and it needed to speak to them. Now, Jesus didn't walk around saying after that every moment, hey, you're a brood of vipers and you're a brood of vipers. Like,
everybody's a brood of vipers.
You've got a brood of vipers. Yeah, like there was something important about those words. And I think that is ultimately what it comes down to.
No, yeah. That's how it goes.
Our words are important.
They are important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Our words are important. Amen. Do we have any comments or any questions in the comments? Anything like that? We'll take them now. You know what? We're gonna stall. We're gonna make some dead air here for a second. We're gonna give you guys 30 seconds to come up with a question. You guys want us to answer live, or if you guys want us to do anything like that, we're totally listening, and we are here.
I think your wife's just having conversations on there right now.
I know we're on a delay too, so I know that we're like they're just getting it now.
Yeah. For those of you wondering, I'm staring at a screen over here. I'm not just randomly staring off into the toilet paper.
That was 30 seconds. Now that everybody's caught up, I think they're just about caught up.
Your wife just posted if they had any questions.
Oh, okay. Were we quiet? Were we silent? Like the whole time we're just like, if we really want to mess with people, that's how we get it. Like, welcome to the Anchors. Okay. Okay, do we got anything? Any questions? Last call?
Comments? Concerns?
Any curse words on the stream? Sweet, we've done our job. All right. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We have a few special things we wanted to announce. First off, the Escalon Youth Center is going to be hosting a Zoom trivia night coming up this Friday in the middle of the day. So keep your eyes out on that. It's going to be on our Instagram, on our Facebook. You guys can tune into that.
Do we have a time for that?
Not yet, but keep your eye on the interweb. So keep it on the social media.
For you kids who are sleeping in, don't sleep in that day.
Yeah,
get up
that's
early.
right.
Get your Wheaties.
Do I get a finger up over there? A good finger, a regular finger, not the middle finger. We didn't even talk about that.
No.
Yeah, middle fingers are a bad word in sign language and in the real world. Okay. My wife is texting us a question.
Someone says, every week there's more toilet paper. Where are you getting this valuable resource from?
You will never know. You'll never find it.
We get it from the church, but not from this church.
Now you know. I guess.
I'm just kidding.
I'm glad somebody caught on to the bit. Today we were literally just like, does anybody even know we have more toilet paper up here? Like maybe nobody's getting it. Yeah, Maddie's scrounging hard. She's like hustling people. She mugged a few people for these rolls. She was like, hey, you got some toilet paper? Huh? She took him down.
Thanks for the question, Christopher Davis.
Oh, Christopher Davis. Yes. Is that the only one we got? No more questions?
That's the only one I got so far.
Nothing about cursing? Or middle fingers?
Anything about Todd and his ugly face? I said that on live TV, on live YouTube. I said TV, but hey, joke's on you. There's nothing in that cup.
Darn it. I know. Okay. All right, guys, on that note, again, tune in this Friday for Trivia Night with the Escalon Youth Center. It's going to be a fun time. Next week, we're going to have our same thing here, Anchored Ministries Live. It's going to be a great time. Me and Stefan are going to be back up here. And, guys, comment below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We would love to talk about what you guys want to talk about. Give us some hard questions, something we can really knock out of the park or flail around in. Stefan?
Yeah.
Anything else?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Okay. Everybody, thanks again. We're so
for
glad that you tuned in. We're so glad that you tuned in. There we go. And we will see you guys next week. That awkward